السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. مرحبا بكم أيها الطلاب الكرام. Now we're going to take our answers for the questions, or you can say الأجوبة للأسئلة. The test is going to be out of 45 total points. This is what your score is going to be out of 45. This should be on the other side. It's going to be out of 45, and the extra credit question is worth 5 points. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin with our question number 1. I asked you all, ما هذا, and a picture of a book came up, which means ideally you should have written هذا كتاب. Now, we didn't ask you for the harakat in this first test. You will be asked for harakat in the next ones. But spelling is definitely something you have to get right now. So if you have a spelling mistake, let's say for hada, you wrote it like this. No alif. You will lose half a point for that spelling mistake. If you missed the entire word, and let's say you wrote something like ma instead. You have the incorrect word, or you have an incorrect word, you will lose 1 whole point for that word. Or if you made a mistake on the actual object that we were pointing to, that's going to be half a point off. This first one is worth 2 points. So you should have written it like this, هذا كتاب, and that will get you 2 points. If you have a spelling mistake, you should get 1.5. If you missed one of the words, you should get just 1 point. Okay? Also for the time, in most questions we said that you have 30 seconds, or 1 minute to answer the question. If you go up to 30 seconds over, or for every 30 seconds you go over the timer, you'll lose half a point. Okay? So for the timing, if you go 30 seconds over, or from 1 to 30, you'll lose half a point. If you go a whole minute over, you'll lose a whole point. Okay? And the idea was to get you all, like, what we would like for you guys, the standard we would like, as if you should know this enough to where you're comfortable using your Arabic with people. And you can't just get that way if you aren't setting a high standard for yourself. If you are, I'm going to say, getting below 80, if you score below 80, and I think we said it was about 9 mistakes, then I would say go back and rewatch all of chapter, or all of lesson 1. If you're scoring below 80, you should rewatch chapter 1 and really put a emphasis on how much you study, because as you continue to go and try to build on, you're not going to be able to benefit the way we want you to benefit. All right, now we're going to just get through the questions since we explained the grading system. Number 2 is going to be هذا قلم. You're going to repeat هذا again, and you're going to write هذا مفتاح. Number 4, هذا مكتب. Okay, and you just have to write it just like that. You don't need the harakat. And number 5 is كرسي. Okay. Number 6, the question was أهذا سرير, and you should ideally, this question is worth 3 points, by the way. For the ones before, each one was worth 2. You're supposed to say نعم هذا سرير. This is worth 3 points. 1, 2, 3. أهذا بيت, you're supposed to answer لا هذا قميص. qaf, mim, ya, sad. Ahadha najmun, you're supposed to answer, na'am, hadha najmun. And remember, just for writing purposes, like letters, they can be written differently. You can write the noon on top, like that. Instead of the noon being here, it's on top. And you'll find that even sometimes it's written like that. Najmun. This is noon, this is noon, and this is noon. All of those will be fine. Okay? And of course the dot on the jim. Now if you get a spelling mistake or a dot mistake like that, I think I would be, if it's an accidental missing dot, not that it changes the letter. Like for example, if you wrote down for hadha, let's say this. You said hadha, right? You accidentally forgot to put that, and you know it's not hada. You know, that won't be a mistake for you. But if you did something like this, where you confused ha with ha, this is definitely a mistake. If you said hadha with a ha, it's a mistake. That one you should mark yourself wrong. If you have something simple like that where you forgot to place the dot, don't mark yourself wrong for it. If you made a mistake where, let's say on najmun, you know, and you put nakhmun. What do you think about that, Muhammad?
What?
Should that be
mistake?
That'd be a mistake. That's a mistake there because
changes the word.
Yeah, it changes the word, and you did something. You did something to change the word. It's not like you just forgot to go back and put the dot. You purposely put it there in the wrong place, which by then, if you're getting your letters confused, you should go to Sheikh Ibrahim's classes, my brother Ibrahim, and take his classes. If you're getting letters wrong and having mistakes in pronunciation, you should go back to his classes, which is in another playlist. Number 9. All right, let's erase this. Number 9, we said, who is this? You guys should easily just say, yeah, I know how to say who's this. Man hadha. That's how you do it. Man hadha. And as you notice, my has are, I feel like when you write has, you shouldn't get too focused on like making this great, circle there. I feel like when you want to do, write the hat, just get it somewhere, get it approximate. So you say, man hadha, question mark. The next part of the sentence is, hadha talibun. Simple. Number 10. Oh, by the way, this 1, 2, 3, 4 points. And grade yourself accordingly. If you made a mistake, instead of man hadha, you put min hadha, that changes the meaning, so that means you got the word wrong. The correct one is with a fatha, men. This is the correct one. If you put min, it's incorrect, so you're going to miss one. And then you said hadha talibun. If you put down and said hadha himarun, you got a student mixed up with a donkey. Then obviously you're going to miss one here, and that means out of 4 points, you would have got only 2. Okay? Because you missed one here, you missed one there. Next, I'm going to come over here. Am I still in the frame? Yeah. And who is this? We know how to say and. You say wa. وَمَنْ هَذَا. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Ahada, that's, you got to get this right. You have to know how to ask a question. Ahada waladun. And then he says, لا هذا رجل. And I know the sentence seems a little bit strange, like who's going to get a boy confused with a man, but it's, you know, just for the sake of the words you guys know. أهذا ولد? The answer to لا هذا رجل. Let's see how much it's worth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This question, number 10, is worth 9 points. Okay. Number 11, it says the usage of, let me erase this first. Number 11 is true and false, and I wanted to see if you know the difference between ma and men. I asked you, ma hada, hada tajirun. You're supposed to say, man hada. The first answer is incorrect. You have to say, man hada. So, therefore, you just correct this as man hada. So this is worth 1 point, and I made the whole translation worth 1 point. Okay? So you're going to say, man hada. This is false, so that's worth 1, and the translation is worth 1. Who is this? This is a merchant. So this one is worth 2 points, 1 for knowing men and 1 for the translation. Number 12, you're supposed to say, ma hada. That's a sukun there. Ma hada. And then the answer was, hada qittun. What is this? This is a cat. Over here is, who is this? This is a merchant. So each one is worth 2 points. Number 13, 14, and 15. The images that popped up, you're supposed to write down for the question. هذا كلب. All right. The next part, I want you to include the word wa. So you should have written, whoops, هذا حمار وهذا حصان. That's what you should have written down. So for that one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's worth 5 points. Yes. If you missed the wow, that's going to be taking off 1 point normally because it's a whole word. All right, that was number 14. And finally, number 15. هذا ديك. هذا ديك. Now I know it's a little bit cluttered. But I like for you guys to see how we write things. We can have it up on the board and you can come back. But when you see somebody writing, my handwriting isn't the best, but it still helps you get a general idea of how people write, and you should try to do that. And I told you guys before, in Ma'had al-Lugha, the Arabic Institute in Jamia Islamiyya, me learning how to write came from watching my teacher literally scribble on the board. That's what they would do, and they used to scribble everywhere. And I would just try to keep up as best as I could until finally my handwriting improved a little bit to where I'm actually more comfortable with my Arabic handwriting than my English handwriting, even though, you know, we grew up here in the States with all this English homework and stuff. So that's 15 questions. The extra credit one, this one is a bit tricky unless you have gotten to lesson 3. If you've gotten to lesson 3, I believe it's lesson 3, or it could be lesson 4, where we add al, or you might know from before. And the question was, who is this man? Man, هذا, should you just say رجل? Man هذا رجل? That's incorrect. Because whenever there's a tanween, as you guys remember, this is how you say a man, or an indefinite person or object. So you have to say man hadha ar-rajul. Man hadha ar-rajulu, and you say hadha, this is mudarrisun. And with that, you will have concluded your test. Remember what we told you guys? What we told you about what we would ideally like for you is 85 and above. But if you're scoring 80% or below 80%, then we would recommend strongly that you go back and re-watch the entire lesson 1 videos, because that means when you keep building on, it's going to be a weak foundation for you. And if you want to say this Arabic program worked for me, this is what we expect. Above 80 is what you have to do. 85 and up, I'm going to say good. Now, keep practicing in that. Some of you may not be good at test taking, and you make mistakes in your tests. As long as you feel that you know 85 and up, then keep going. If you're hitting 80 and below, just go back and rewatch it, inshallah, and you'll find that you'll improve. As always, Allahumma allimna ma yanfa'una wanfa'na bima 'allamtana wa zidna ilman wa ila al-liqa. Wassalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.